From the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios, it's the Diss List with Brandon Dan. 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 Yeah! Woo! Woo, boy! Oh, it's a hot one. Hot one, you can feel it. Energy. Juice is flowing.
I love it. I love it, Dan. It's great to be here.
It's Casey's platform shoes is what it is. He's got those, but that's going to be a foot of platform, and he's strutting like he's in just flats.
What I love about that is Casey. I know that Casey had that on his Christmas list, which means he opened up a gift early, and he pulled.
You're telling me you bought him the foot platforms?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Ever since we talked about Chopin's on the
I know.
on the
I've been very intrigued by the platform shoes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Diss List.
Yeah,
it's a very simple show where every single week a guest brings a list that they're passionate about. Dan and I try to make some changes to make them even better. We diss that list, if you will.
That's right.
And every week the guest has to choose one of our lists as the definitive list.
You've been doing quite well lately.
I've been on a little bit of a heater. That's what the kids are saying. But I will say this, Dano. A lot of people have been talking about this specific topic for the past 25 years or so.
Yeah,
so
roughly almost exactly a quarter of a century. That's exactly
so I'm excited to dive in. We've got about 25 years worth of stuff to talk about. We're talking about reality competition shows today.
Boy.
And our one of our favorite people in the entire world.
Really?
I don't know. Top 10?
Yeah, I would say so.
Top 20?
Top 10 favorite.
Top 25.
A lot of my family members are listening going, how did I not make the cut? But one of our top 10.
CeCe's just that good. CeCe,
our collective top 10 means I get 5 choices. That's wild.
CeCe's on the list.
CeCe, I love you, but good gosh. Yeah.
Matt's not on the list. And I think that's important to say. Matt, you're not on the list. You just missed it.
Oh, man.
CeCe, welcome to the show. We're excited to talk about reality competition shows. You could have brought any list. You brought this one. Why reality competition shows?
Well, to be fair, I brought about 20 lists.
That's true.
You did.
But reality competition, reality TV in general has always been, like, ever since it started, I just love it. I'll watch anything. I'll watch Naked and Afraid. I'll watch the Kardashians, but I really specifically love the reality competition series, and even more specifically the dating ones. But we made this one something you all were more familiar with, which is good, and I'm also very familiar with it. But I've been watching it, 25 years.
So
I nary a show that I haven't watched. I think at least a few, at least a few episodes of. I'll give it a shot.
Did you watch the Flavor Flav one?
Flavor of Love.
Yeah, Flavor of Love.
I've watched literally every. So my real area, if you call it expertise, would be the VH1 celeb reality world.
Rock of Love, Brett
Rock
Michaels.
of Love.
Yeah.
Daisy of Love. A Real Chance at Love.
They had a little bit of a theme going on there.
I think it was For the Love of Ray J.
For the Love of Ray J.
Megan Wants a Millionaire, which got pulled halfway through, and we're going to talk about that.
What's Daisy of Love? What's that?
Okay, so on, I think, season 2 of Rock of Love with Brett Michaels, Daisy was the runner-up.
Wow.
But she was such a fan favorite, and so just kind of quirky and weird and cute, that I guess people just wanted more, so they made a show for her where she had a bunch of guys.
There was a season 2 of Brett Michaels Finding Love. He came back for a second season.
I think there was 3 or 4. Wow. He just couldn't get it right, I guess, or the women couldn't. I don't know.
Now, you mentioned something. You said the romance reality competitions is a separate list. Right. So tell us any other specifications we need to know about this reality competition list and how we're supposed to make it the best possible list.
Right. The specifications that I had were really just that it was like a group of contestants, and throughout the season, that group of contestants is getting eliminated, whether it's by challenges, whether it's by getting voted out by America or their other contestants. But I think there's a lot of shows that are similar to some of these shows, like I mentioned, like American Ninja Warrior, where it's like you win an episode and then later you come back for the finals. But I didn't want to include shows like that because then that opens up a whole can of worms of other kind of weird one-off interesting shows. But this one's just like all the people either kind of usually living in a confined space or whatever, or not a confined space, but living together and getting eliminated one by one.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
no romance, no food. Is that correct?
No food. Yeah, no food. Because cooking shows, I feel their own beasts. So I did say that.
Now, American Ninja Warrior is an interesting inclusion, or I guess exclusion in this case, because of the one-off, and then you come back at the end. What about a talent type show where you audition and then eventually come back, and then you're there for a while?
Yeah, Bran, you're poking holes in my.
Well, I'm just. I want to know what I'm working with here.
I felt like, well, some of the talent shows, not one of them that's on my list, you pretty much are there on every episode.
Okay.
Like some of them, I'm not gonna. The Voice is not on my list. Spoiler.
Wow, you're just calling it out right now.
You're pretty much there like the whole season. Now, other talent shows you might like AGT, like America's Got Talent or whatever, you're on one episode and then you come back when they go to wherever.
I definitely would not have The Voice and America's Got Talent in the same boat, because America's Got Talent feels like you see somebody, you don't see them again for 10 weeks. Whereas The Voice has like the American Idol formula, which is we traveled around, but then we have all these people getting coached all season long to win one prize.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, maybe it's because America's Got Talent might be on my list at the end. I don't know. But it feels like that's kind of, America's Got Talent auditions might go a bit longer, but it's the same basic principle.
I've never watched a full season of that. Well, so there's that.
Bran, you never follow the rules anyway.
That's true.
Why start now?
Let's TV shows. Here's a miniseries.
That's exactly right. Let's start with number 10.
Okay.
Top 10 reality competition shows. Where are we going?
We're going with VH1's I Love Money.
Okay.
I Love Money.
I Love Money.
I Love Money.
I'm not familiar with this. This is in the VH1 I Love.
Oeuvre. That's right. Days
but
of
this
Love,
is
Rock of Love, Tia Tequila.
Different though. I Love Money, and it's a competition show.
This is my low-key way of kind of shouting out the VH1 celebrity and love shows, but this show was not about love. This was not someone looking for a partner or whatever. This was in the same vein of like a Fear Factor, but like a kitschy, like things like, you're suspended on a bed over water, dancing on a pole, and you're like gonna fall off into the water. Who can stay up there longest? It was very like kitschy and like some sexy romancy type things, and they did pump in. Everybody on the show is contestants from other shows, from Rock of Love, all the ones we just named.
So they're losers from the other shows.
Yes. And sometimes I think there might be a season where New York Tiffany Pollard might have been on I Love Money. Okay. But she was she was a contestant at one point in time on Flavor of Love, but then got her own spinoffs, multiple spinoffs. So
yeah. So here's my thing with this. Have you ever heard of this show?
I've never heard of this show, but I do have experience with the VH1 shows that you're talking about. And they are your cup of tea. They are not my cup of tea. I'm typically not a big dating show guy, with the exception of a couple. But that type of dating show is my least favorite type. Mm-hmm. And so this, I can't imagine being a thing that I would enjoy, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So
I do have something else to say about it.
Okay.
So I Love Money may not seem important in the spectrum of reality shows, but it did change a lot in terms of how they screen people for reality shows. So going back to the romance shows, there was a show called Megan Wants a Millionaire. Megan was one of the cast-offs from Rock of Love.
And she wanted a millionaire?
She was a gold digger.
Okay,
and so they gave her a show called Megan Wants a Millionaire.
Good for her.
Great.
One of the contestants on that show, who she kicked off, but she actually had feelings. She said she actually had feelings for him, but the producers were like, no, he's, the producers got involved. I'm sure you're all shocked. And told her, no, he's not the one we want you to pick. So just get rid of him. So she got rid of him. And then when she called him after the show was over and said like, hey, I'm still interested in you or whatever. And he was like, well, I found the woman of my dreams and I got married after 3 days of knowing her. This guy's name was Ryan Jenkins. So he goes on to be married for a few months and then gets invited on I Love Money season 3, which has never aired. And I don't think you can ever find it.
What?
So it was never aired because then
he didn't disclose that he had gotten married.
Well, no, after the show ended, he left, and like 2 weeks later, he murdered his wife and then killed himself. And everybody is like, "What?" And he did this while Megan Wants a Millionaire is airing.
Oh
so
my
they showed,
God!
They showed like half the season of Megan Wants a Millionaire, pulled the rest. We don't know who Megan ended up with. She didn't end up with
what millionaire she ended up with.
But yeah, so people said, like, how did VH1 let this happen? How did you let this guy? He had domestic violence arrests in the past. Like,
oh my gosh,
it ended up being a giant deal. They never aired that season, and he actually won that season of I Love Money.
Oh my gosh.
So they didn't air a single episode, and they've actually put like gag orders, like people aren't supposed to talk about it. So it did actually make a mark on people saying, like, okay, we need to screen these because this is 2008. It's like relatively early in the, era of reality TV just starting, and people were like, oh my God, we need to like really look at these people's backgrounds and like make sure we're not hiring people who are crazy to be on these shows. So that's part of that's going to be my explanation.
All right.
So here's my thing. First of all, I was basically from 2000 2010. I was 17 to 27. So reality TV was unavoidable in that time for me at my age. Did I stumble upon a few episodes of Joe Millionaire? Yeah, I did. I remember 3 or 4 episodes of Rock of Love. It was unavoidable. Like Bret Michaels pulls out the acoustic guitar to sing "Every Rose Has Its Thorn." It's like, come on, dude. Like, they should call this Fish in a Barrel. Like, it's not even a real show. And like, I kept thinking I would find my reality cup of tea, and I never really did. And it's just not
your reality cup of tea is sports.
It's sports. That's exactly right. Soap opera, reality, it's all right there in sports. Here's what I will say is the thing that that is of the biggest disdain for me are people that just want to keep parlaying reality appearances into reality appearances. Like, that is kind of like you have to scrape to find underneath the bottom of the barrel for me. And like, what I'm watching is do you think they'll bring such and such back who's never won a thing but was on 5 different other shows? Like, I don't get it. I'm just not in that. I never got in that stream. I never understood why I would care if someone's being brought back for a second or third, whatever. So this show, while it does sound ridiculous in possibly the best way, also sounds kind of like my worst nightmare of just kind of culling, continuing to cull from the same pool of people over and over again. If you ever were curious if it's reality or not, why do they keep bringing back the third runner-up from Flavor of Love for stuff? You know what I mean? Like, that maybe that's your
I understand
sign.
what you're saying. I think that there is one show that does the bring back the reality stars quite well, and I'm interested to see if it's on your list because it's on my of things that I would like to add to a list. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
There's a lot to choose from here. Let's get to number 9. Hopefully no more murderers.
I don't think there's any more murderers.
Okay, cool.
Don't say it if it's not true.
There might be other sad things though. But
Sure.
My number 9 is American Idol.
Oh yeah.
Pretty big deal. Kind of a game-changing program.
Yeah, kind of. So like, I don't know. I think it's like been on for. It was on from 2002 to 2016, and then it came back. It had left. It went to ABC now.
Yeah.
There's like over 700 episodes. It's on my list, particularly for the first 8 seasons.
Okay.
Because I really haven't watched it much since then. But the first 8 seasons were when it was on Fox, when it was Simon, Randy, Paula.
That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Once they started pulling them out and putting in different people.
J-Lo.
Yeah, Katy Perry.
Yeah. I don't care
Katy
what Nicki
Perry's,
Minaj thinks about somebody who she can't even rap to me.
Sure.
So like,
boy. Look out. Look out.
The Nicki Minaj slander out of nowhere.
Nikki just catches
we don't like Nicki Minaj in this household. But it did ways in which it really I guess affected American pop culture. The introduction of Ryan Seacrest to
of course.
Like like this man is the new Dick Clark. He literally took over Rock and New Year's Eve. He's on everything. He's everywhere. He's got radio shows. He's got TV shows. He's producing. He's direct. Like
lest we forget, he was season 1. He was with another guy.
Yeah, that's right.
There was 2 of them, and he clearly they made the right choice. So.
Yes.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to focus on his comedy career, and I think he ended up being an Uber driver at some point. So maybe just
we love Uber drivers.
We love a driver.
Oh, yeah.
Cab driver.
We love them.
The troops, Uber drivers.
That's right. They're all in there. They're all in.
We need them all. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. So the reasons that it's lower on my list, there's a lot of focus in the first few seasons about like superficiality kind of stuff, like Simon being like, maybe you're too fat to be the American Idol. So, not a big fan of that part of this show.
Right.
And then like, I think after maybe the first 8 or 10 seasons, once we started having X Factor and The Voice and Nashville Star and America's Got Talent, it's kind of like you were getting the best pool of singers because of people who wanted to be discovered. But now it's like they see other ways that they can be discovered, especially if they're not hot or not in that little, they have a smaller age range, I think, than like The Voice or these other shows too. So it kind of like started to be less relevant, but it did give us Kelly Clarkson. It gave us Carrie Underwood.
Oh, so like, just the list goes on and on for sure.
Fantasia. There's so many people that came from
Justin
that show.
Guarini.
Kelly Pickler.
Yeah.
Of course.
Daughtry, Philip Phillips, Fantasia Barrino.
I was invisible.
Yeah.
Oscar winner Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
Tori Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I actually didn't know that.
I always forget that.
She didn't go super far, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think of this show? What do you think?
I love American Idol. I have very fond memories of American Idol, watching it as a family. It's kind of in the same memory pool for me as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like these kind of must-watch TV that you could watch as a family, and like you had your people that you were cheering for and stuff. And yeah, I mean, some of it obviously doesn't age great, and this is not the only show that's going to happen on. No. Most of these shows, especially early on in the mid-2000s, a lot of just, I can't believe they said that on TV at that point in time. But there is some like Simon obviously was too mean. Sometimes he went way too hard. Yeah. But there's also like something about that time in a period of time that's like that there's a lot of funny bits that came out of that. Like you never knew if the person coming in was going to be so bad because the producers picked the bad people, and you don't get that as much these days. And it's because we don't like laughing at people. But back in the mid 2000s, we loved laughing at people.
Yeah,
and for better or worse. So like lots of just very fond memories of American Idol.
I will say this: I feel like, and once again, I'm not a huge reality TV fan. I feel like this is low. I mean, this show is historically very significant in the realm of game show competitions. I mean, I don't think, and I 100% could be wrong because I don't have near the minutes watched here of either of you two. You would be hard pressed to find people that didn't watch a show that could name as many soon to be superstars that came from a show than this show. I don't think that it's even close. Like Oscar winners, platinum album sellers, singles, all like the stuff that the alum of American Idol has done has to be the most of any reality show. Like it has to be.
Probably.
And I only watched 2 seasons of this show. The first season, I was a freshman in college the first season. I was like, this is ridiculous. But there was so much groundswell about Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini that I did watch the finale. I didn't watch it all year, but I was like, I have to see who wins because everywhere they were talking about this. And so season 2, I watched start to finish. That was the Clay Aiken, Ruben Studdard season. And I was like, this was fun. Not for me, but fun. And then we had, you didn't know, Chris, but I had someone that I wouldn't call him a friend.
I don't know.
There was someone I knew very well that was from Greenville, that hung out with guys I hung out with high school, that was in the top 10 in this show in 2006-07.
Cool.
And so when we heard he was going to be on the show, and he couldn't tell, he literally was great. He didn't tell anybody he made the top 10. we watched. And so I got back in on that season purely because I had a rooting interest, just because you knew the hometown guy that was on the show. But those are the only two seasons I've watched of it. But can I tell you about singers from all these other seasons? Yeah. And I don't think I can do that about any other reality show. I don't know. I guess I've heard the name Boston Rob from Survivor. I'm trying to think of Boston Rob is the only name I've heard from Survivor that isn't from season 1. The only name that I remember. Now, Jax gave a presentation at the marathon with these 4 women that created this group that like formed an alliance. And so like, you could maybe talk about a few other people, but that show has so many more seasons than American Idol does because of the years that American Idol took off. I just think this show is, if it's not about people all living in a certain place together, if it's about a talent competition, this is the biggest in the history of television, right? Am I wrong on that?
I don't think you're wrong. I think that like part of my rubric when I was deciding where to put things or deciding, I got down to 15 that were like, these are my hard 15. Like, how am I supposed to get rid of 5? And it was really like, a lot of it was like, part of it was like, do I think I could win this show? And do I like imagining myself winning this show?
I like that.
And then a part of it was like, would I rewatch this show? Which this one was like a big no for me.
Sure.
And then it was also like, what is the impact it had on American culture? Which this is probably the most impact maybe of anything on the list.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, like Kelly Clarkson and Jennifer Hudson are like on daytime TV.
Right.
Yes.
They are not just singers to people anymore. They're like icons of like people that people want to tell their secrets to. They want to be their best friend. These are people like, we're not just looking at them anymore as singers, and even people like Carrie Underwood. And
Carrie Underwood is like, I mean, she's huge. But even like the 3rd, 4th, 5th place contestants, some of these early seasons, they got record deals. Like Scotty McCreery got a record deal. Daughtry was huge for a while. He finished what, 4th? I don't know. Like,
and I think like Benson Boone, didn't he not? He's huge
Benson
now. And I don't even think he got to like the Hollywood. He might have gotten to Hollywood, but I don't think so.
But like, these are like big time names of there. I would say there's a dozen like household names that came from American Idol, which is insane. But also rewatching reality shows. Who would do that? Am I right, Bran?
Let's do number 8. Let's do
Me and Brando.
Let's do number 8. Number 8. Where are we going?
Number 8. We're doing another, what I would say is a talent show. Ink Master.
Ink Master.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ink Master to me is one of the ones that's like more purely like a talent thing. There's not a lot of like strategery and like backstabbing and stuff like that. It's like, who can do the best tattoos? Who can win this show? But what I like about Ink Master, and I like about watching someone do a tattoo, is like there's this X factor of these people that they're bringing in to do the tattoos, because there's a lot of like negotiating with your client, a lot of like, I want this tattoo on my ribs, but they're like trying to get it not on the ribs because it's super painful. There's a lot of things that get thrown at them. And then the stakes are really high because this is something that's like on this person's body for the rest of their life. So sometimes there's like a really angry client who like runs back in and like yells at them. And, a lot of people, I'm sure this is a shock, but a lot of people in the tattoo industry are like hotheads. So there is a lot of like fighting amongst the contestants in a way that there isn't on other shows, because they don't have to play like really a social game. They're just really playing a talent situation. So I like that. And I also do think that there's like the tattoo where you get eliminated at the end, but there's like a flash challenge, and they do a lot of really interesting, really diverse types of art in the flash challenge, like things I've never even heard of, things involving like burning stuff, and like the ash creates a like, you never would believe that these people could do these things, like doing things with light, like a light bright, but like it almost looks 3-dimensional and crazy. And just like the people on the show are really talented and really artistic. I do also with this show kind of only like the first 2/3 of it. I didn't like when they changed to Paramount Plus, and when Spike went away, obviously. But when they went to Paramount,
it was on Spike. Yeah,
on Spike.
The network for men.
So,
yes.
but that so for me, this show sounds amazing.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen it?
No, I have seen like an episode.
So I very rarely will get lost in reels of any kind, but I will get lost in tattooing reels. They are fascinating. I don't want, what's the type of tattoo that looks real? Is it realism? Is that what it is?
Oh, like photorealism.
Like I don't want one of those on my body, but they look like I'm watching a 3D movie. They look unbelievable. This sounds awesome. I didn't have access to Spike TV. Had I had access, I think I could have really gotten down with this show. I think this sounds like my type of show. I'm here for a competition based, a flash challenge sounds amazing. I'm here for this.
No, I don't want any part of this because tattooing scares me, and I don't like. I also don't like seeing it happen. But I appreciate this type of reality show that is like let's watch people do something that they're really good at. That I could never do what they're like. I fell in love with a show. It's not on even my peripheral list, but there was a Netflix show about just making cocktails, like Cocktail Masters or something like that. And it was a competition show of these amazing bartenders that would make these crazy drinks. And I'm like, I love those type of shows that like just spotlights somebody who's really great at their craft, and let's see who's the best at the thing. So I love the idea of Ink Masters more than I like Ink Masters itself because I'm a little baby. And I'm sorry.
Fair.
And I'm sorry. All right, number 7. We're moving along. What do we got at number 7?
All right, number 7, we have The Mole.
Ooh, The Mole. Made a comeback, didn't it?
Celebrity Mole's the one that's famous, right?
There is a Celebrity Mole with like Ahmad Rashad, I think, like hosted it. I don't know if I ever watched the Celebrity Mole, but I think there were 4 seasons that were originally on ABC.
Yes.
Those are the ones I'm super fond of because that was what introduced most of the world, I think, to Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, that's
right. He was the host of that.
Did you watch the reboots? Like, what was it, a couple years ago?
Yeah, I have watched I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
The Netflix reboots. Yeah. I actually, so I say to me, the dichotomy in the two is like the original Mole felt very like intellectual. Like you had to be smart to win this game. The new season seemed like more regular people. Like it just seemed like the original seasons. It wasn't like, it was very like, I don't know, like everybody seemed to have like PhD masters and they all seem to be like less diverse group of people playing the game. And maybe that's just my memory and like, cause I've never gone back and rewatched them, but I remember feeling like this new seasons, the new ones are just much more like a cooler group of people.
Cool.
So I do like they're cool people. And the host is also good, but not Anderson Cooper. So it's kind of like, it's a whatever. But yeah, I like that there's at least some indication of like who and there's a later game we're going to talk about where it's the downfall to me is like, I think it's really hard where you're trying to find someone who's like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Where I think it's like really hard to figure out who's the bad guy aside from social cues. This is like, you're trying, like the mole is trying to sabotage events, like your challenges. So they don't want the prize pot to get bigger because at the end, I think they're just going to win a flat rate of money. Like they're going to win like
if they don't get caught. Yeah.
Well, they're the mole.
They don't get caught. But like the other people are going to win a whole bunch of money. So part of their thing is like, I don't want these other people to win a whole bunch of money. So somebody will like fall down and trip. And it's like, oh my God, are they the mole? But it's like, everybody's running through mud. Like somebody's going to trip. So there's a lot of just like, and then the questions I know like they take a quiz and it's like, answer these questions about the mole. And some of it is like, do they have an older sister? And it's like, if you don't talk to people, that's another thing is like, there is some level of social game where it's like, you got to get to know people. So I don't know if the mole has to answer questions like truthfully, except whether or not they're the mole, because it asks some kind of weird questions on that. But I just think I think the quality of the production is really good. They're always in like some nice places in Europe. They're always traveling around and it's just a really well done show. And it's hard to say anything bad about it, except that just sometimes it feels a little hoity-toity to me.
Brent, you a mole guy?
I haven't seen a lot of Mole. The reboot was on my list of things to watch, and I just haven't yet. But I only saw a few episodes of The Mole. We did not watch it in the Gray household growing up. I actually caught a few episodes at Brandon Kaiser's house. You know,
Brandon, that be?
Yeah, I know. But he was always Brandon Kaiser was not a great friend, but his he could kind of watch anything, and so got in some trouble at Brandon Kaiser's watching The Mole.
Yeah.
And so I do remember that. So I've seen 2 or 3 episodes, but I remember being like, this show's dope. But I don't have a ton of Mole experience, but I love the idea of The Mole. Dan?
So this is a show I distinctly remember after the success of Survivor. CBS doubled down with The Amazing Race. ABC went with The Mole, and then Fox had American Idol. And I know that those aren't all exactly like each other, but those tend to be, the reality show went bonkers. I mean, there were so many one-off reality shows on network television to even there's so many you could forget and still know so many. This to me of those 4 was I watched all 4 of those shows when they came out. This was my least favorite because I was an 18-year-old and this felt like homework to me. Sure. It did not feel like it was. And what's wild is I basically created a template for reality TV that didn't exist in my head because I just thought it was either stupid or it was work, and I didn't want to do the mental grind of it, and I didn't want it to be stupid in my opinion, and so I really didn't give much of it a chance. But for me, early on, I mean, I watched the whole first season of Survivor. I watched the whole first season of Amazing Race. I watched the second season of American Idol. The Mole, I remember watching the first season, and after 4 or 5 episodes, I was like, this should be good. This should be something that I love. But it never clicked with me. Having said that, now I bet I would love it if I went back and watched it now. I bet it would be my favorite now that I'm not 18 years old anymore. But I didn't give it a chance at the time, and my feelings on it aren't strong because of that. Sure. But there was fatigue, at least for me. I'm like, why can't we have more CSI and less The Mole?
Sure. And now we have way too much CSI.
Yeah, we had a lot. Yeah, CSI. Then the procedurals came in, and it was lookout.
A lot of CSI. CSI. All right, I like where we're going here. Let's do one more and then take a break. How's that sound?
I love it.
All right, get us to number 6, CeCe.
Okay, number 6 is The Traitors.
Oh, the newest of the bunch. Yeah.
Newest, yes. Premiered in 2023. So this is a group of contestants in a castle in the Scottish Highlands. It's hosted by Alan Cumming. Those are 2 of the greatest things about the show. The scenery is amazing. Alan Cumming is amazing. His clothes are amazing. His fits are out of this world. So on this show, this is the one I was talking about where I feel like there's not a lot of opportunity to kind of figure out who the traitors are. It's just a lot of social cues and who am I going to decide I trust, which is cool in its own right, because it's not easy to figure out who the traitors are. And there's a lot of drama. They have a round table where you're saying okay, I'll start the conversation. I think you're the traitor and here's why. And I saw you put your glass down and cough when they said something, it's all very small things where people I saw you, I don't know, you were talking shit about this other person behind their back and you've got to be the traitor. So there's not a lot of opportunity to figure it out. And I don't love that when you bring on a bunch of people, Dan hates the retreads. If you bring on 5 Real Housewives onto a show, they're going to band together.
Yeah.
If you bring 5 people from Survivor on a show,
yeah,
they're probably going to band together. Less
yeah,
likely than the Real Housewives because they've been in that competitive world. But a lot of times they bring people from the Bravo verse. And they kind of all get in groups, but that's a good opportunity for if they pick good traitors, for them to, kind of muck up their own groups. But the real drama, the really good parts of the show are when the traitors meet in the turret and they have to come to an agreement about who to murder. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning at breakfast, when it's revealed who gets murdered, is just people slowly walking into this room full of breakfast. And it's just funny because it's you're just watching to see how are the traders going to act when they walk in the room? But also like some people are just like chowing down on food, just like like a jam on a biscuit and like eating. And then somebody the next time at the next round table will be like, you were shoving a biscuit full of jam in your face. I know you're the traitor. You didn't care. You weren't worried about who was murdered. And so it's just so ridiculous. It's so much like paranoia and just like looking for the smallest social cue or the smallest things that people do or say. And then it's also fun when the traders start to turn on each other. Which I didn't love when the aforementioned Boston Rob came in and he turned on the one trader that I really wanted to go to the end. And
Boston Rob was on the traders.
Yeah.
So he does. I thought he just came back for survivors.
No,
he's just in the circuit.
I don't know if he's done any other.
I don't know if he's done any other either. I know. Well, he popped into the Big Brother set last season.
Yeah.
But I think and he had his own thing. It doesn't matter. But like, this is the only one that I know of that's not Survivor that he actually played.
Yeah. At the end game is also one of my favorite things about it because. Oh, sorry.
No, I said, has he ever won anything?
Oh,
yeah. And he had one Survivor. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. The end game
he got a
is
wife
really
out
cool.
of the deal, so pretty. Survivor's been good. Survivor's been very good to Boston Rob.
Yes, for real. Keeping his pockets lined.
Go ahead, CeCe. I'm sorry.
So the end game is really cool because they get down to like a final four. And at that point, like the people who are not the traders are called the faithful. So at that point, they have to decide, like if a trader gets kicked off early in the game, they're going to replace him with another trader. But at some point, I think Alan Cumming tells them like, okay, if you get rid of a trader, we're not going to replace the trader. So when they get down to the final four, they have to decide like, do we believe we're all faithful? Because if we're all faithful, we're going to split this pot of money. But if one trader is in that group and they decide like, we're ready to end the game, everybody's a faithful, and that one trader gets that whole pot. So
that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So we watched one episode of this show in The Office. Do you remember this?
Like, I don't remember ever watching it.
2 years ago, we watched one episode of The Traders. Then we got sidetracked with another game where do you split the pot, survive the raft?
The raft.
I didn't really care for the first episode. It was like silly games. They're out there and they're playing dumb games, and you got to read if people are actually trying or not. And the games seem to be edited in a way to just show you who you want to pull for and who you don't, which is all of the stuff I don't like about reality TV. What you're describing, though, sounds like I should have stayed with it, because that is a level of mind games that I find highly entertaining.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched one and quit, and maybe I stopped too early on this. Yeah, when I heard The Traders, I was like, oh, I watched one and like it. But I do love Alan Cumming. He's great. And then what you're describing is it sounds like if I can power through the first half of the season, I'll love the second half of the season.
Yeah, and it's really, once they get to like know each other better and really start creating like groups, it's fun. It's a lot of mind games and it's really cool. And then like every once in a while the traders will get a little thing where like instead of going to the turret and picking who you want to like kick off tonight, by like 8 p.m. you've got to like get someone to drink from this silver chalice. So that will give somebody like an indication of like, why is this person walking around with a chalice full of wine trying to get people to drink it? It's like, you have to get someone to drink it or nobody's going to get murdered. Stuff like that. And then you also do have to, there are like things called shields, and you're like, if somebody gets a shield in a competition, it like behooves them to like keep it secret. Cause then if the murderers try to murder them, they won't get murdered. It'll shield them from being murdered. And then you might be able to try to like figure out like,
I think I should give this another shot.
Traders is great. I appreciate Traders for a couple of reasons. One, it's a modern reality show that actually broke through the noise, which says something. Like, if it can break through and really get a following at this point in time, that's pretty impressive. And I do think it does the reality star thing pretty well, like the bringing on the people from the other shows. It doesn't matter the network. I really appreciate that. Like it's kind of its own thing in that regard. I also love how much Jeff Probst hates this show, and it makes me laugh a lot.
Why does he hate the show?
He hates every other reality show, basically.
He hates when survivors get any benefit from like another show too, it seems.
What's this guy's problem?
He's backpedaled a bit on this. And
who
does
he think he is?
But
he hosts a reality show. Like, why not
for 49 seasons?
Be excited about your medium doing well.
I guess because then it's like they can get Boston Rob other places besides through me. Like he wants to control.
If you're showing 50 seasons produced just Boston Rob, then maybe the Traitors deserves him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a terrible take, Jeff Probst.
Yeah.
Jeff has some of them. I love Jeff Probst, but I also love when Jeff is just mad about stuff. It's just very funny to me. All right. I love that number 6. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to get to CeCe's top 5 reality competition shows here on the This List.
With Brandon Dan. Hi,
everybody. We're talking reality competition shows.
It's a good one this week, Brandon.
Something that Dan eats, sleeps, drinks.
Love it.
He loves it. Dan, the 10 through 6, give us that rundown.
That's VH1's I Love Money at 10. We all knew that was coming. Number 9, a little show you may have heard of it, American Idol. Number 8, Ink Master on Spike, followed by Mansers. Number 7, The Mole. Number 6, The Traitors. 2 shows back to back. What made you go with Traitors over Mole? Because they're similar shows, CeCe.
They are very similar shows. And at one point, I think I had 3 shows and I was just swapping them in like a triangle, like one off the list. And I'm not going to say what the other one is because one of you might play it, but like I just was like stuck between and I was like, these are 2 similar ones. But I did do the thing where I was like, I'm going to close my eyes. What would I rewatch?
Okay.
I was like,
all right.
This is what I would rewatch.
Fair enough.
Or like, also like, I think I would be good at.
I think I'd be good at the Traitors. Yeah. That's the other thing is I want to play. I do want to play the Traitors.
Yeah, me too.
Does Traitors US, do they have any non-reality show star seasons, or is it only
former reality show?
I know that they have some regular people in there, but it's always with a mix of people.
I think the international versions do.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think the American versions
that is something that they do on Traitors, which is cool. Is it's reality stars, and they make up a large portion of it, but there's also just regular people, which is fun.
A couple regular people.
Yeah, because
just regular people, not people that were regular before they became reality stars.
No, they've never been on TV.
Yes,
before.
got it.
Yeah, so it's just like they have like an interesting angle. Like you kind of want to get to know that person and just see like what their deal is, which is fun. All right, let's see what we got for
top
number
5. Getting real.
Okay, number 5 is my last kind of talenty show, Project Runway.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I know the boys would love this.
Absolutely. Get to make those clothes and get on that stage. Work it.
So this one has had 21 seasons, so it is a juggernaut of that type of show, of the talent world. Really, the star power is a lot of what does it for me with Project Runway, aside from the fact that I'm just like awed by the people's talent. But it's hosted by, for 13 years, it was hosted by Heidi Klum, and now she's back.
Wow.
Wow.
But they have actually had 30 international adaptations of this show. So they have this is an American original. A lot of these other shows were from Dutch or like Australian, whatever, like another country show.
Britain's Got Talent, for instance. Yes.
Yeah. Like these are all, this Project Runway, we were the first ones to do it, and 30 people have copied us. So that's cool.
We did.
America.
America first is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's really
that's
the
CeCe's big message that she wants you to know.
If you know me, you know. So also interesting side note, Heidi was replaced by Carly Kloss, who is married to one of the Kushners. And there was an episode where I think she said something about someone's clothes, and they were like, well, at least I'm not married to Kushner. So that was fun.
That's fun.
Fun moment of reality TV for me as somebody who's,
Can you, hypothetically speaking, I've never seen Project Runway. What is it? Is it just, because I know how
fashion designing, yes?
It's fashion designing. It's making clothes.
So it's not America's Got Next Top Model. It's not about modeling. No. It's about designing. Okay.
There are certain seasons where where there is a bunch of models. And at the beginning of the season, you get assigned a model. But say you win one week. The next week, you have the right to change your model. And there is one episode of one season where this guy named Santino was like, let's have a motherfucking walk off. Sorry if I just
it's all right.
messed up your.
No, we're okay.
Leave me out. But that's what Santino said. And he picked like 2 or 3 girls and made them like walk up and down like they're I didn't really love that as somebody who's like a feminist and like, how dare you like say like you three beautiful women walk for me. But
sure,
that's part of the game is getting the best model so getting the model would win if you won. So they would also get like a management deal with like International Faces or whatever the name of the modeling agency was. But you would win. So in the initial seasons of Project Runway, it was like you would win an internship with Banana Republic. And a lot of these people are like very niche, artsy people. And so I know like in the first couple seasons, I think they had to change what the prize was at some point because they were like, I don't want an internship with Banana Republic. I just wanted like the notoriety of winning this show. So I think they ended up changing it to like a prize money type thing.
Is Tim Gunn on this show?
Yes.
Okay.
So
who's Tim Gunn?
Tim Gunn.
That's in my notes.
So go ahead, CeCe.
I put, this show gave me the often imitated but irreplaceable Tim Gunn and his mantra of make it work.
This has been said to us by Alonzo Duralde several times.
You cannot like duplicate the way Tim Gunn talks. It's like, oh, like look at you better work on those seams, make it work. He's just very like deep, like just an odd voice. I overuse a meme of him going just like disgusted with something. It's my favorite meme, so I do love him. He also at some point left and was replaced by Christian Siriano, who won one of the seasons. I can't remember which number. One of those first like 10 seasons. But they also had like a real commitment to wildly talented, famous, cool judges. Like they were always, Michael Kors is like there every week. Nina Garcia from Allure magazine there every week. The rotating people were like Isaac Mizrahi, Diane von Furstenberg, Tommy Hilfiger, Bob Mackie, like huge names in the world of fashion would just come on the show and like judge one week. And it was just crazy to see them just coming into this random like reality show. I think it was on Bravo originally. I don't know what it's on now. I will
say this. I've never seen a second of this program, but I know about it because of how often it is mentioned in just years in the pantheon of culture. Just like, Tim Gunn, I believe, would pop up on SNL sometimes. He'd do the talk show circuit, and it's been quoted to us. Tim Gunn's been quoted to us before. It is referenced regularly. I do know that this show is a big deal. Like, I know that if you cared about fashion at all, this would be your show. It is like the Top Chef of fashion. So I got nothing but respect for it. I didn't know it had been on that long. So yeah, I'm here for this. The fact that I knew Tim Gunn was a part of it, I knew Heidi Klum hosted it. For it to be off my radar, but for me to still know a lot about it tells you how much it has kind of permeated the cultural zeitgeist. So good for Project Runway. I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's for me as somebody who literally could not care less about current fashion, where fashion's going, or what people think about fashion. So I don't know if this show is for me, but clearly it's for a lot of people because it's been on the air for so long.
I think when you said that you like a show where you're like, I'm going to watch this person who's really good at doing something like Ink Master. This show, they'll have, much like on Ink Master, where there's the initial challenge and then the elimination challenge. They will have like a first challenge on every episode of Project Runway where it's like, we're going to go to like a recycling plant and you have to make an outfit completely out of bottles or like little, and people are like grabbing like like random shit they're finding in a pile. Like, it's just like they're making clothes out of like ridiculous things, whether it's like they're making shows out. It's like, you're just going to go into this place and all you can buy is ribbon and you can only buy like 7 feet of ribbon and you have to make a dress out of it. Like, it's just the ridiculous level of like how hard they make the challenges and the level of talent you would have to do it under stress in that amount of time is just like, I'm in awe of the people on that show. And it also did, there were episodes where as a young, like when it came out, I was probably already in my 20s when 2004. Yeah, I was probably already in my 20s. I was just 20. To see them like have plus size challenges and the people be like, I don't know how to make something for someone this size. Like, it did show a lot of the like discrimination in the fashion industry. And then 2 of the winners of the show, which Christian Siriano, who came back and took Tim Gunn's job, and Ashley Nell Timpton, who won one of the more recent seasons, they both have like plus size lines now. And
Awesome.
that was kind of like their focus of doing things. I think Christian Siriano dresses every person who's like above a 16. If you watch like the red carpet, like live from the red carpet before Oscars, it's like everybody who's like bigger is like, oh, Christian Siriano. Like he makes everybody's dresses now. He's just like huge in that world.
Cool.
And so it was great for me.
It's a legendary show. So I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
in. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now this is the Mount Rushmore of reality show competitions, according to our guest CeCe. All right. The top 4. Here we go.
Okay. Number 4, nobody's ever heard of, rarely.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Murder in Small Town X.
Murder in Small Town X?
You're going to have to tell me what that is, CeCe, because I am unfamiliar.
There are 8 episodes of this show.
Total?
Yes, total. 1 season.
Must be one heck of a season, CeCe.
I'm going to go watch this.
One of the reasons my boyfriend Matt and I bond often is that whenever we talk about reality shows, we're both like, Murder in Small Town X, though, dude. Like, how did it get canceled? Like, why?
Tell me about this show without spoiling it, because 8 episodes is a mountain I can climb.
I won't spoil it because I don't remember. Well, I'm going to spoil one thing about it. But so the contestants are immersed in a fictional town. It's very like Truman Show-esque.
What channel is it on?
This was on Fox.
Okay, got it.
In the year 2000.
Wow.
2001, sorry.
Got it.
So it's like there's like, oh, there's been this murder. They get this case file about a murder. And it's like, you need to help us solve this murder. Here are the 15 suspects in this town that we think might have done it. You're going to help the police solve this murder. And it's like 15 people. They're all actors. And like 15, there's like different locations. It's like, hey, we found some weird fingerprints at this marina. You better go talk to Don John about it. Whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah.
Don, the legendary.
Yes.
So they go and they like talk to people. Some of the clues they're being given are red herrings. Some of them are actually going to help them solve the murders. At the end of every episode, it's like there's a person who's like considered the lead investigator. So they say like, okay, we've narrowed it down to these 2 people. You're going to go to this one location. You're going to go to this other location. And you're going to like see if those people are there and whatever. So if they go to the location and there's no one there, they don't get murdered. If they go to a location, they'll get murdered. Like if it was the less likely place. So that person has some power to kind of like send somebody to like we don't really think it's this guy. So I'm going to send you to where he lives.
Okay.
You'll probably survive because we don't really think he's the murderer, but I'm going to send somebody else to, so they kind of can narrow down like the suspect list by like, okay, we sent someone here and it was probably that guy who murdered them.
And they do all this in 8 episodes.
They did all this. So, they filmed this in May. I feel like part of the reason they didn't renew it is it probably costs a lot of money because they basically like took over a town in Maine. I think it was Eastport, Maine. And they just embedded all these, they had to have all these actors, all these like
sounds awesome.
Actors. It was very cool.
Sounds like a very elaborate game of Clue.
Yeah.
It is. And then the sad part, and maybe also the reason they did not.
Oh no, someone died.
No, somebody died.
Sorry, Brad.
No,
so the person who won, I'm not going to say their name in case you go and watch it. Well, I'm going to give something away. It's going to give it away. Okay. His name was Angel. And
all right, well, we just gave the whole, there we go. Perfect. We did it.
He
We
was a
gave
New
the whole,
York
please
City
don't spoil it.
firefighter.
And we spoiled the whole thing.
He was
so
a firefighter.
sorry, but he was a firefighter, first responders. We love them. This last episode aired on September 4th, 2001.
Get out
Stop.
of here.
He won the game, and then he died on 9/11.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like I feel like a
What?
legendary show in the world of like reality TV because it's like, wow, this guy, and he was the guy all season. He wasn't, the Boston Rob. He wasn't the person you like kind of low-key hated or hated totally. He was like the good guy. He was like the guy where you're like, I really want this guy to win. He's doing it for his family. He's a first responder. We love him.
That
Angel,
is
go Angel.
brutal.
And then like you're like, he won. He's donated the $250,000. And then like maybe it trickled down through the news media like a week after 9/11. Like, oh, by the way, this guy.
Sheesh.
It was very sad for the fans, and I don't know if they canceled it for that or if it was just the expense of the show to make because it just I think it involved a lot. It was like very heavily produced, and very good and very just. I mean, I feel like anybody who was like a ride or die for that show, it like made a mark on them, just like how good and how well produced the show was, especially
So
for
did
that
it
time.
almost feel more like a procedural, like drama almost?
Like almost it felt like you were watching like a like regular people help cops investigate a crime. So yeah, kind of.
A little bit like
Although
that
you didn't
Will
know,
Arnett show on Netflix. What is
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Where
I
he
know what
brings
you're
the
talking
person
about.
in
Yeah.
and it's like improv. It's like a combo of that, but serious. Yeah.
I gotta give this a watch. It is.
Yeah.
I did find that it's all on YouTube. And
sorry
quote,
that I
higher quality.
No. I think that story was worth it at the end of the day.
Wow.
yeah.
What a
I mean,
story.
you kind of have to tell it.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously I've never heard of this.
No.
It's a tough one to know what to do with because it's one season, so it like feels almost like 4 is high for a one season show, but it also sounds dope. So it's tough.
Yeah.
This is
top 3.
Okay,
All
we're
right.
going to the
top 3, CeCe.
Number 3 is The Circle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Newish.
Last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Netflix, maybe to me, Netflix's best reality show. Pardon me, Love is Blind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know I love the dating shows.
What do you
like,
want out of a show?
I love The Circle. Like The Circle is the game where I've actually thought about applying. Like there's other games on this list where I'm like, I think I could do. I think I could do this other show. I think I could do that show. The Circle, I was like, maybe I should apply for this because like it's cool as hell to me. Now, so people compare it to a mashup of Big Brother and Catfish. You go in, you're completely cut off from the outside world, and you're completely cut off from like humanity. Like you're in an apartment building, but you're in an apartment by yourself. You cannot leave this apartment. Like you can leave the apartment to go other places in the apartment building. Like sometimes they'll show somebody in like the rooftop hot tub, but they schedule it all so that you'll never run into another human being.
Right.
They take over this apartment building and isolate everybody. You can only communicate with other people playing the game through a social network called The Circle. And I think you can only, they never really say, but I think you can only have like a certain amount of interactions with people a day. So you can't like constantly be like hitting, like just like on, like if you were on Facebook Messenger, like all day. You can only have like so many conversations.
Yeah, it opens up. The circle opens up. Yeah. And
you make a profile. You can use real information. You can lie. You can use somebody else's picture. People have been like older man portraying himself as a 20-something man, which was really fun that season. His name was Lee, and he was hilarious because he was always trying to do these. The Circle has like an overuse of hashtags, and they're very funny. Like hashtag Circle Fam, hashtag Rise and Shine, hashtag Do It for the Team. And he would make these ones up, and he'd be like JTTF, and people are like, "What the heck is JTF?" And he's like, "Just for the fun." Doesn't everybody say that? And it's like he's like, "My niece told me that was a cool thing to say," and it's like, I don't know what your niece is doing, but so you can truly lie about everything about yourself if you want to, but then you have to kind of like the people who are doing that really got to keep up on their lies and who they're saying what to. But it is like those other games are purely like talent. This is purely like social and purely can be you manipulating people because they don't know, like you're just in an apartment by yourself, just chatting online. I would love it. I don't mind being alone. There have been people on a couple of seasons where they let people do it in like a team. And like I think a mother and son came on one year.
I remember that.
How long are they in this seclusion?
I think it's about a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure the exact amount of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't feel like they make the days as big of a deal as like a Big Brother does, where it's like
they don't like mention how long it's been. But you can tell it's been a while because some people start to get like they have these things where it's like you've been invited to a dance party, and they'll leave like stuff at your door, and you like go to the door and there's like hats and like party favors, and you just get to watch people like dancing like around their apartment, and it's just like it's very like it's borderline cringy, but also like really fun because it's like I mean like they're all alone, like they're bored out of their mind. So I just think I would be really good at it. They're good at doing in the couple of seasons there have been. Now I've watched France, I've watched Brazil, I've watched all of them. So different seasons have different twists too, where like sometimes it'll be like on your way out, you got eliminated, but you get to decide, like you get to give somebody a power, or you get to sometimes they do it where it's like you were playing as yourself. You can come back as a fake profile if you want to. And so people have come back in as like fake profiles. But they make up the fake profiles, and so you kind of have to adapt to the faux personality they've given you. It's just really interesting. It's fun to watch people's habits when they're all alone, how they act. And then like there's always challenges where they get to say stuff anonymously. So watching people decide like, do I want to manipulate my own alliance and like make them think other people are thinking these things of them, so then I can swoop in later and be like, oh my God, did you believe that in the challenge? Like, I know it was anonymous, but like this person had to have been the one who said that about you. We should rank them really low. It's also a lot of like math, like a little bit of math based. You have to, you rank everybody. You don't like vote one person out.
I love that.
You say like, this person's my favorite. This person's my second favorite. So you have to try to figure out how people are going to average. Like if I put this person as number one, hopefully they won't be last. So you kind of have to decide like who's the most important people for you to keep in the game, and like who could you part ways with if you had to. And then in the end, I like that because you can kind of in this show be friends with everybody and win, which they've shown, which is kind of cool. Like if you play it right and everybody really likes you and everybody really trusts you, they may not put you at number one, but they might put you at 2 or 3. And if enough people put you at 2 or 3, you're going to be.
That's all you need. Yeah. Brent, you were like addicted to season one.
I love season 1 of The Circle. I think I've seen 3 seasons total. They started like really pushing out seasons. I feel like maybe I'm making that up in my mind, but it felt like they were really coming out fast. And maybe it's because they were also doing the other countries or whatever. So I have fallen out of The Circle a bit, if you will. But it hit. It was real good. It was also weird because it was like it was 2020 and it was like this seclusion show, and then COVID happened, and it kind of took on a life after that too. And so, or when lockdown started, it was kind of like The Circle really took off in lockdown in a sense too.
Yes.
So it was very interesting. But I love The Circle.
I will say this. You loved it so much. I watched an episode and I have a very distinct memory of going, this is 100% not for me, but it is 100% for someone. Like it is a show that makes a lot of sense if you are invested in what's going on here. And so I applaud the originality, especially, I don't know if it just happened to coincide with lockdown. That was pretty, I mean, talk about, a silver lining for the folks over at The Circle to have this show where people are sitting around anyway. Pretty impressive, but yeah, this is very different and it's unique and not for me. And it's a more recent show that doesn't have as much probably clout as some of the others, but it being on a top 10 list, I'm fine with. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. 2 more left.
Two more.
Where are we going? Number 2.
All right. Number 2 is my actual favorite reality competition show, Big Brother.
All right.
Big Brother.
Your favorite's at number 2. Got it. I love this. I love the honesty here.
Oh, you put people I hate.
I know. I'm sorry. It was the easiest picture to pull based off of the text.
I got to get the graphics department.
What can you do?
Yeah. Again, this is, I don't think I mentioned it. A couple of these are based on Dutch shows. The Dutch must be doing it up, but
the Dutch are doing it.
It's premiered in 2000, the year 2000. This, I think, has the most episodes of any show on the list because there's 975 episodes. And I would easily estimate I've seen 850 of them. I don't barely ever miss an episode. So even in the first season or 2, it was on 6 or 7 days a week, and I watched everyone. It started out, it went to 3 days a week when they opened the live feed. So originally on the show, you couldn't go online and watch them 24 hours a day. Now you can watch them 24 hours a day.
It's wild. I remember when DirecTV launched a channel in the 900s that was just a feed all night long where you could watch them. It's crazy.
And I used to be like a live feeder. I don't do it anymore, but there was a time period where like you'd go onto Twitter and have like the Big Brother discourse, you could tell who watched the live feeds and who didn't, because they'd be like, oh, this person is such a jerk for saying this. And I'm like, did you see these 10 other things that happened in the house that day? Like, no. And they're just manipulating you, because you can really see the way that the production manipulates America to believe what they want to, and make people look better than they are. But so I think most people know it's a house of contestants, and you're just vying for, I think now it's $750,000. It used to be $500,000. And this one, they did have to revamp. Like, season 1 was a shit show. And I really didn't, I'm surprised I watched season 2 after season 1, because what happened was the one house guest, his wife coordinated a bunch of phone banks at like local bars.
Oh my gosh.
And you couldn't text yet, because texting wasn't really a thing. It wasn't, or it was, but it wasn't big. So like, she just had people like calling on the phone. They would be open for like a 4-hour period, and they just had hundreds of phones just calling. So he made it way further than he would have been if it was really on like America, who really America liked, because most of America hated this guy. So I did appreciate when they kind of like revamped it, because he ultimately didn't win, but he did come in second place. It was cool. The first season, they were really trying to have a diverse cast, and the guy who won was missing a leg. It was really cool.
Oh, awesome.
He was riding around on crutches all season. It was very cool. He was like a young, hip guy. It was just really nice amount of diversity in that first season. There was a girl with like crazy hair, and they do like less of that now. Like, now it's kind of, the later seasons are getting to more like influencer type people. Like, you can tell they're just going on Big Brother to like get a career as an influencer, which is gross.
So cool.
So the last like 5-6 seasons, there's never anybody really like older. They used to be really good at putting like some older people, some like different people, and now it's just kind of like all models. So I don't love it as much as I used to, but I do like that a lot. Like, social interaction is the big thing. You can be like a comp beast, like a competitive beast to an extent, like winning HOHs and winning powers of veto. But like, you can't, head of household and power of veto.
Hall of Heroes.
You can win those games, but ultimately, like, you can only be out of household 1 week in a row. Then you can't do it the next week. So you're going to always be open up to being on the chopping block, and to getting kicked off. So I do think it really, part of the reason I love it is the amount of like backdooring of people. Like, where all week they're like, you're cool, you're safe, we're your alliance. And then like at the last minute, they're like, you're on the block, you're gone.
Wow.
And it just has had like a bevy of people, who, not in the level of like American Idol, have like people know their name, but like amongst the people who is like into Big Brother, there's like Dr. Will and Mike Boogie and Janie and Kaser, Brendan and Rachel. People got married, just like Rob and Amber. Is like, there's some people who met on the show and got married. I think there's like 2 or 3 couples now. There was a guy who had like an iconic like funeral for himself. He was like, I know I'm getting kicked off. I know you all hate me. Let's have a funeral for me. And somehow he turned it around. He didn't get kicked off. It was just like over the top. And he was on the Traders, I think, last season. So
just doing the circuit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that circuit.
He's never gone back on something though. Until then, he was like, they brought me out of retirement for the Traders. So
how about that?
I just like it because I, again, feel like it's something I could win and that I would do really well at. So I like it.
This show's historic.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the first 3 or 4 episodes of the first season.
Okay.
Historic television. I will say this, a lot of my complaints with shows like, the Real World or competitive versions of that tend to be the edits. The fact that when I watch reality TV, like even we watch Finding Mr. Christmas, and it drives me crazy that they clearly direct scenes just to give you, so they get what they need to give you the version of the person they want to give you. It's the opposite of reality. Whereas, to your point, CeCe, when they started showing a camera 24 hours a day, the producers and editors just banked on the fact that the folks that are just watching the CBS Nightly are watching our version, our director's cut, and the folks that are watching the live feed are getting a different version, and it doesn't matter. So this is kind of the purest form of reality TV, because you have the option to watch people in their quote unquote natural habitat. They're not getting a fancy edit. They can't hide from that all the time. And I appreciate that. Once again, not for me. This is historic. I don't know anybody from this show. I couldn't name you all the people you named. You could have made them all up, like in Home Alone 2, and that guy in the movies, like Cliff, Cheeks, Pony Bob. You could have been doing that just now. I wouldn't have known. But it's a historic television program. When you talk about reality TV, when I talk about reality TV, you say the names American Idol, Big Brother, Survivor. You just say them. That's what you say. This is one of those names. I can't get mad at that. I assume you watched the show along the way somewhere.
I've only seen 2 episodes.
Oh, wow.
And it's from the most recent season.
Wow.
I really appreciate Big Brother. I appreciate the live feeds. I appreciate the way that they do the voting off process. I think that like the fact that it's live is fascinating. Them going in, doing their shout outs on the way out is very funny. For me, as somebody who I just recently got into Survivor within the past year, and I've been watching a lot of Survivor, and it's impossible not to think about Survivor when you're watching Big Brother because they're on the same network and they come from the same time. And there's a lot of elements of Big Brother that I just found myself being like, I just wish that they did this thing on Survivor. It would be really fun. Like I want a Survivor live stream. I wish that Survivor was live. I wish that it was happening in real time. The fact that they can put out 3 episodes a week is insane. It's an absolute testament to their team, which is incredible. So I really appreciate it. But I think I was so in the Survivor space at the time because I was watching so many episodes of Survivor that it was hard for me to really I couldn't quite click it into gear for me. But it's a show that I want to come back to at some point and watch more episodes of. So I appreciate Big Brother.
I'll tell you the good seasons to watch because some are duds.
All right.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're heavily reliant on that many episodes. You are.
All right. We're about to get to number 1. A quick reminder for those listening. Number 10, I Love Money from VH1. Number 9, American Idol. Number 8, Ink Master. Number 7, The Mole. Number 6, The Traitors. Number 5, Project Runway. Number 4, you know the one, Murder in Small Town X. Number 3, The Circle. Number 2, Big Brother. And number 1 is what?
Survivor.
Of course. Gotta be. Yeah.
You did it.
Cabin 6. I don't know. well, Survivor. Yeah.
Okay,
come on.
Yeah. Premiered in May 2000, 49 seasons, over 700 episodes. It's the desert island concept. You're starting your whole thing from scratch. You're building shelter. You're making fire. You're finding food. It's a combination of physical and mental competitions. There's a lot of, you have to climb over a lot of things or jump off a lot of things, but you also got to be able to do a puzzle. If you can't do a puzzle, you are screwed. So it really set the bar or kind of gave the blueprint for competitions on like every other reality show there is. Like everybody does competitions where you're like, oh yeah, this is like the one on Survivor. There's so many like endurance comps on different shows, especially like Big Brother. They took that from Survivor, I think. They might have had a lot of overlap because of CBS and management being like, this is something we're doing on this other show. But just there's like so many ways that things from Survivor have been duplicated and emulated on every other reality competition show. It's just like the model. It changed like the American lexicon. Like nobody before season 1 of Survivor talked about alliances. And now it's on every single show. That was Richard Hatch. That wasn't somebody from CBS. That was somebody in the show going like, let's make an alliance. And it's just part of how we talk about reality shows. The season 1 finale had like 51.7 million viewers.
Oh, I was one of them live, baby.
Nothing. Like there's nothing on TV today. There's nothing
massive.
It's hard to get 51.7 million people to vote.
I mean, aside from a live event and and a series finale. So you're not talking about a series finale. You're talking about a season finale at 51.7 million. If it's not the Super Bowl or a series finale of Friends or Seinfeld, that's a crazy number of people. Even in 2000, that's insane.
Yeah. And they are like always, I think Survivor does one of the best jobs of any of these shows at like coming up with twists. Like after a certain amount of seasons of Survivor, these people were like, okay, I know how to win Survivor. I got to make like alliances with this many people at the merge. I have to concentrate on this. I've got to use people as shields. I've got to do this and that. And like, now it's like, there's so many like idols, reward, like things where it's like, steal a vote and block a vote and you won't have your vote until you've done this other thing. You know, you have to find this idol. We're going to give you a map and you have to dig something up and get it. It's like, there's so much stuff. And there's so many like iconic moments, like when like the Johnny Fairplay and his grandma story.
You know about Johnny Fairplay?
Like,
God, no.
Okay,
Johnny Fairplay lied about his grandma being dead to gain sympathy.
He lied about his grandma.
What a move! What a move by that guy.
So at one point during the
and
season,
his name's Johnny Fairplay.
It's all fair play here. When at some point family visit happens, his brother came and they had an agreement. You're going to come up to me. You're going to tell me that grandma died. Like whenever this happens.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant.
And so when they were like, who's going to get to go? Like, they're all like, let Johnny go. Let him talk to his, family member about his grandmother. Just iconic. Like, and then they're just walking off like, hey, like, well, grandma's fine. She's sitting at home watching me. Rob proposing to Amber, obviously, was iconic. Tony creating his little like hut in the woods where he would like listen in on people's conversation. Just the extent of things, season 1, who knew that Sue Hawk was going to stand up and give a 3.5-minute speech about a rat and a snake and just set the tone for like there was nothing she had to look at before that. There was no blueprint for what she like she's a mess. Like that season, I couldn't stand her. But
yeah, I couldn't either.
Just watching her give that speech is just like, where did she come up with this? And like so many people have taken, it's just like iconic. There's so much stuff that's iconic about it. And there are people from it, like Boston Rob. Dan doesn't watch it, knows who Boston Rob knows vaguely who Boston Rob is. But there's like Parvati, Sandra, Tony. They show up on other shows. They show up on different things. And a lot of Americans know them who watch the show because a lot of Americans watch the show.
Yeah.
But it's just like the blueprint. It's the best. Yeah.
I'm going to go first because you will have more to say and you know your stuff. Listen, I watched the first season of Survivor. I remember it very, very vividly, especially Sue Hawk's speech. And like at the end, it felt like we had all run a marathon. Like Richard Hatch is a ghost of himself. He's lost 1,000 pounds. He looks like somebody needs to give him some food immediately. Sue Hawk looks like she's been lying in a sewer for like a year and a half. And she is just absolutely lambasting this guy verbally, like just, and like, I remember I couldn't believe what I was watching and I was very caught up in the moment. And I remember season 2 starting after the first episode. It was like, why did I love the thing? Like, I remember watching season 2 going, I guess the moment's just passed. It's like almost like going to summer camp and you get jacked up and then you leave summer camp and you're like, why was I so crazy at summer camp? When I watched the first episode of season 2 of Survivor, I was like, why was I so crazy about
Survivor? It's also
Survivor?
just a different show, though.
And so that's what you've told me.
Yeah.
And then I just literally went from didn't miss an episode to cold turkey done with Survivor. I've not watched an episode since the first episode of season 2, but everything you said is accurate. There's no doubt this is it. The fun fact I have about Survivor before I turn it over to you, from January of 2000 to May 18th of 2000, Tom Hanks filmed a little movie called Castaway. May 18th, May 31st, I believe, was the first episode of Survivor. Castaway comes out in December of 2000. You want to talk about some synergy and money making money? That's crazy. They finished filming Castaway.
A Paramount joint?
I don't know. It was Robert Zemeckis, but they finished filming Castaway a week and a half before Survivor premiered. That's insanity.
Crazy.
I mean, crazy. Brandon,
I love Survivor. It's not a secret, I don't think. Check out Making the Merge. But it's such a great show because of how hard it is. It's such a hard show. 39 days, obviously harder than 26 days, but that's neither here nor there. It's a great show because they're hungry. They're tired. They're not sleeping well. They're out in the elements and they have to play this strategic game. They have to try to win these challenges that are very hard challenges on very little food. Sometimes not getting any food for days on end. And so it's just the ultimate, like, this is amazing to watch this happen. Jeff Probst is the best. I love him so much. And I think he is both Survivor's like greatest strength and its greatest weakness at the same time. Like sometimes he can't get out of his own way. There's a lot to talk about there, but he's as good as it gets when it comes to reality TV show host. And I love Survivor very much. And it's the #1 show.
Yeah,
it's the #1 show.
Yeah, I think we've been trying to pattern after that, and we've been literally every network tried to chase the high of Survivor immediately as soon as it aired, including CBS itself, which went all in on Big Brother immediately. There's give me the next thing right now, and it was Big Brother. They in the chamber, they were like, the next Survivor's Big Brother. They started advertising that way as soon as they knew what they had with Survivor. I think before season 1 of Survivor was over, they were being like, if you like Survivor, you're gonna love Big Brother. So like Survivor's
Big
it.
Brother.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, Dan. We've got some work to do here.
We do.
So come on back, see what changes we're gonna make here on the Diss List. With Brandon Dan. Yeah. Dan, we're talking reality competition shows.
Serious stuff here.
This week. It is very.
CeCe knows her stuff. You can tell she loves it.
CeCe knows her stuff.
That's right.
I'm gonna go first.
You go
first of all, we've got some top 10 is I Love Money, American Idol, Ink Masters, The Mold, Traders, Project One, Runway, Murder in Small Town X, The Circle, Big Brother, Survivor. So here's what I've done. I don't think it's any surprise. I'm going to get rid of I Love Money. It seems like a safe one to take off.
What?
We talked a little bit about shows that are like just people that are really good at a thing that I could never do, and I just like watching those people. One of my favorite versions of that is Blown Away on Netflix, which is just people doing the blow art, the fight with the fire. Glass blowing.
That's the one.
And it's just it's amazing, first of all, to see them do this thing. But it's also the best. Hey, they won the week. They call them best in below, and
you can't do that.
That is as good as it gets. And I'm proud of them for doing it. Someone said it in a room one day, and they said, "Should we do best in below?" And they said, I guess so. I guess we should. And they stuck with it. And so shout out to...
You're putting that on the list?
I'm putting Blown Away on the list. Yeah.
Wow.
I love Blown Away.
Okay.
I think it's a great show. And then I am going to put in... I am putting in America's Got Talent. I thought about it. And to me, it is like, especially the older seasons, just the purest, this is a talent show. Do whatever weird thing you do and let's see it. And, you know, it's gotten away from itself a bit. Now it's so polished and so like it's mainly people singing or dancing and here's the sob story. But early on, like you never knew what you were going to get. And it was so much fun just to see these people do these crazy talents. And it's very fun. So I am going to include that one as well. I'm getting rid of Project Runway, and I'm sorry.
Wowzers.
I know. It is the one that it speaks the least to me, and so I'm getting rid of it, and I'm sorry. So here's what I have done. I've done a clean replace for I Love Money with Blown Away. And then I replaced I replaced Project Runway with America's Got Talent, and then I moved Traders up because of the way that it's kind of I don't know. It's broken through the noise. I talked a little about that and how it's just impressive. And so I moved Traders into the top 5. I did a flip of Murder in a Small Town X with American Idol because I just think that the longevity and what American Idol did for reality competition shows, it deserves to be in the top 5. While Murder in Small Town X sounds amazing, it seems more like a top, like a 9
it's a niche show.
Than a 4.
That's a pit.
And so that's what I've done there. So what I have is Blown Away at 10, Murder in Small Town X at 9, Ink Master, I kept it on, at 8, The Mole at 7, America's Got Talent at 6, Traders at 5, American Idol at 4, Circle at 3, Big Brother 2, Survivor 1. Thoughts, CeCe?
Well, obviously I hate anytime anybody messes with my list.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, I do think American Idol was possibly low, even though I don't really love the show. And, you know, maybe it's good.
Okay.
I don't, you know.
Have you seen Blown Away?
I think I've seen a couple episodes because my cousin definitely watches it. And I think like when I've been at her house, she's had it on, but I've never I like that one that's like Forged in Fire where they make like knives and iron and stuff. So I've definitely watched some of this kind of show.
Idea. Yeah. It's very like Ink Mastery. It's just like, hey, what's your expertise? Let's see just dope people do dope things.
I feel like
I've seen people blow glass in person too. So I've it's pretty interesting and difficult.
Yeah. Okay, Dan.
I feel like the only chance I had here was you doing something like taking off Project Runway. So you at least gave me a chance, even though I don't love my odds here. So I'm going to, instead of telling you what I took out first, I'm going to tell you the things that were most important to me. First of all, I feel like Survivor, Big Brother, and American Idol need to be 1, 2, 3. I think that because those aren't necessarily my favorite shows in the world, but I think there is no world where we stand on any reality, TV history without those 3 television programs. And I think in that order is the correct order. So I switched American Idol in the circle. I think the circle is a fine idea for a television program. Survivor, Big Brother, American Idol literally launched 1,000 ships, and I have those 3 at the top, and you need to know about that flip first. My other flip is fairly inconsequential. I liked hearing about Ink Master. I want to hear more about Ink Master. I moved Ink Master up to 6, Traders down to 8 because I'd seen an episode of Traders and I was like, okay whatever. So let's talk about what I took out and what I added. The 2 shows I added are both very, very popular shows. One I do enjoy. One I think is important for its reinvention. The one I enjoy is The Amazing Race. I do think, I don't watch The Amazing Race. I don't even know if it's still on the air.
Oh, it's still on the air.
But early on, there was something about The Amazing Race that I loved because they couldn't fudge results, right? So like they can make you hate people in the edit, but they cannot make someone not show up on time. And so there was something about it that was pure competition, whereas the best teamwork typically won. And I liked that a lot. The host wasn't my favorite in the world. He was very solemn and serious. I don't even remember his name, but I did love that show. That was a show that I would love to do. I think it's a fun idea for a show. You get to see the world, be on TV, maybe win $1 million. And that's an early pioneer of reality TV. So I put that on and I put it as a direct replace with The Mole. I took The Mole off because I felt like The Mole and Traders were similar programs, and you sold me on Traders, and I watched a few episodes of The Mole and I was not sold myself, although I could be wrong, but I took The Mole off. I put that on. The other show I put on is The Voice. Now, I don't watch The Voice, but the idea of the turning chairs was a revolutionary idea for reality competitions. The idea that folks, you talked about specifically, CeCe, how American Idol would just tell people their appearance wasn't of a star. And at least, this was a facade mostly, it was, but at least the appearance of these, music moguls have to listen to just a voice to determine if they want them on their team is a great idea for a show. I watched the first half of the first season, which is more than I would normally watch of a show. And I think it deserves its place on the list because of what it did to answer are we just looking for a star or are we really looking for a voice? So I took, as you can imagine, VH1's I Love Money out and I put The Voice in as well. So with all that being said, here's my list. 10, The Voice. 9, The Circle, flip with American Idol. 8, Traders. 7, Amazing Race. 6, Ink Master. And then these 5, Murder in Small Town X, I didn't know what to do with. I had not seen. You seem to love it. I just didn't mess with it because I didn't know. I knew enough about Project Runway to think it's a pretty iconic show. Realistically, maybe Amazing Race should have gone at 4. Those are the 5 most famous, but I just couldn't do everything I wanted to do. 5, Project Runway. 4, Murder in Small Town X. 3, American Idol. 2, Big Brother. 1, Survivor. That's my list.
Okay.
Hey, CeCe, do you like The Amazing Race?
No.
I thought you might not. There's an interesting thing that I've noticed with people that love Survivor and Big Brother is if you like those 2 shows, you typically hate The Amazing Race. There's like this weird thing
I thought you might hate
where
it.
people aren't able to like all 3 of the big CBS shows for some reason.
So here's the thing is I liked The Amazing Race in the past. And so there's a couple things that I don't like about The Amazing Race that I've never liked. And there's one thing that I hated that they did, but they've now fixed. So in the early seasons, so I've watched a lot of Amazing Race for somebody who doesn't really care for it. But that's just
that should tell you it belongs on the list right there.
It's kind of like somewhat iconic. So in the initial early seasons, you had to book all your flights and trains and stuff yourself. Wow. I loved it because it was the luck of there's like a lot of countries where they still use travel agents. So a lot of it was like the luck of like finding a really good travel agent who was like, oh, if I put you on this flight, but then you change over to this flight, you'll get there like 2 hours before everybody else. Let's not tell everybody, and they book you something and you have to do a lot of like changes. But and then for a while they'd be like, we've booked everybody's flight. Whoever comes in the first 3 times will all leave from this airport at this time together. And it's like they were trying to like even the playing field too much for me. By a lot of times too, they would like, you're going to do this fishing expedition. You get there at 4 a.m. and they don't open till 8. And then everybody's caught up to you. And that really irritated me because I was like, if the point of the show is like, you're going as fast as you can, and you should not have these challenges where now you have to sit and wait at the gate for somebody to open up some business. That really always irritated me about the show in general, which I think still sometimes they do that. But I think maybe now they don't have people leave. It doesn't seem like people leave at the middle of the night anymore. I don't know if they still do that because I haven't watched that many of the recent seasons. I did watch the current one because it's all people from Big Brother. So
there you go.
I went back to watch it because I'm like,
that's the way to get it.
So I was like, they'll get my eyes back on it. But I don't, Phil also annoys me. Something about Phil's hair. Phil's hair grows in weird. It's like always like kind of sticking out. I don't know. But he just like seems just, I don't know, really annoying. But the big thing to me is like, I would never be able to do the Amazing Race. That is one thing. Like, I don't like to fly. I just drove 16 hours and back to see Matt. Like, I do not like any transportation where I'm not in control. I might like flying if I was a pilot and I knew how to do it and I was in control, but I don't like being out of control.
It's a good 2026 project.
Yeah.
So never,
to fly.
I'll never be on the Amazing Race. But aside from that, it's like, this is like a typical episode of the Amazing Race. This Jamoke from Minnesota is going to jump off a biplane into a bog. And then he's got to like do this thing. And then like, he's going to meet a geisha and she's going to tell him he has to learn how to do this geisha dance. And then like this very strict person is going to hold an envelope behind their back. And like, they're not going to give it to you unless you're perfect. And it's just like, I don't want to watch somebody do an Irish jig 24 times before they get an envelope from somebody. And then somebody else walks in and does the jig. And they've been kicking everybody's ass. They figured out how to navigate a city that they don't know. They've had great, a lot of it also depends on your cab drivers. Can you hail a cab? Do you know how to get a taxi to pay attention to you? Do you know how to read a map? Although I do think everybody should learn how to read a map if they don't know how. Like, we depend way too much on
Pretty
GPS.
Good idea to do.
But it just, something about it just irritates me, the show. Like, I just don't want to see people doing like crazy stuff in other countries. Like, I felt like
Survivor, you're out then.
I used to learn a lot about cultures at the beginning of the Amazing Race, but now it seems like it's just so much like you're always going to have to like do a jig or like crawl through some cornfield to find some random thing or like match these 2 very intricate pieces of art. And like, there's 700 and there's like one that's the correct one. And you're trying, I don't know. Something about it just, it makes me like, I just would never do this. And I just don't have the attention span. I feel like I'm just watching people get mad. I think I also don't like seeing, there's something about the stress in Survivor where at least people aren't constantly like physically stressed out too. Like, I feel like they are. Never mind. Take that back. Because they're hot and sleeping outside. But
what about The Voice?
Something about the stress. So The Voice, the only thing I really like, I've watched The Voice. Here's the thing. Can anybody name anybody who's won The Voice? Like, nobody.
No.
Like, nobody.
But I can't name anyone from any reality show that isn't American Idol or Survivor.
True, but I can. But anyway,
if you watch The Voice, I
watched The Voice.
I think the difference though is The Voice is supposed to be like producing a star, like American Idol, which you don't know anybody from do American Idol either. So
like,
it's like
the best. Yeah, the best thing about The Voice was like the bromance between Blake and Adam Levine, both of who I hate their music and I don't really care for anyway. But it was like cool to watch them bro out sometimes. I liked when they brought in Usher for one season, but then immediately like he was the best coach I think's ever been on the show at that point in time, because I did religiously watch like the first few seasons. But then they just lost the plot when they John Legend and some guy from One Direction. It's like, Reba, I'm not interested anymore. Just too much like change it. It's like Idol is the same though too, like where I just didn't like it after they got rid of those original judges.
I think a lot of these shows that aren't Survivor and Big Brother, I think as they move on, it's tough to recreate.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
tough to hold
Like
on to it.
the shows that you're still watching are either new, like Circle, Traders, 4, 5, 6 seasons in, or you've admitted, I think, that shows that have lasted long, like Project Runway and these other shows, I think they have a hard time.
Yeah. The problem
They all jump the shark at some
yeah.
point.
The problem I've always had with The Voice is that its best and worst thing is the battle week, because you have these two singers that are forced to sing together and are phenomenal,
And you got to
and then you got to take one of them off,
Yeah.
and it's like
That's ridiculous.
sometimes
Yeah.
like their voices just don't work together, which isn't fair to them. So it's like, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's phenomenal. It's like, hey, can you guys start a group? Because
Yeah,
that was
no
so
kidding.
good.
Both
So
get out of here
it's
and go
always
do
been
your
like a
thing.
weird thing for
Yeah.
me. It's where they like pit them together, but they're also
Yeah.
they also need to be really great together, and so it's really weird. Okay,
And I don't
all right.
I also don't like when they allow like a group or a duet.
Yeah. It's
Like,
always a weird bet.
not-
All right, you've got to decide.
All right.
My
Here we
list,
go.
Dan's list. I'll put it back on mine for
That
a
we
second.
both took off I Love Money. Brand took
That's
off
true.
Project Runway. I took off The Mole. Brand added Blown Away, and what's the other one you added? Oh, and America's Got Talent.
Yep.
I added The Voice and Amazing Race. We both have American Idol in our top 4, along with Survivor and Big Brother. I moved The Circle down. He moved Murder in Small Town X down.
That's right.
All right. See, I hate both of those move downs.
Yeah, of course you do.
Well, that's
it's
why they're in your top
That's why
4.
it's your list. That's right.
Yeah. Man, let me see again. Like I really didn't want to pick with a list with AGT, and I really didn't want to pick a list with Amazing Race. So you
Well,
guys,
so
Yeah.
there you go. We-
So, I mean, I think my top 5 for you is stronger than Brand's, but I think that Brand's
Hey, let her
addition
decide.
of Blown Away is better than my 2 more generic choices.
It's a more niche pick, that's for sure.
Yeah, which I think
let me
is,
see Dan's list again. Sorry.
there you go.
I'm gonna pick Dan's list. Sorry, Brandon.
Wow, can't believe it.
No, I
Only
saw
be-
it coming. I saw it
Yeah.
coming.
It's just the
The Project Runway of it all, I think, helped me a bunch, Brand.
Project Runway of it all, and then the moving of the Murder in Small Town. I know it's so random, and
Yeah.
I do think that American Idol probably deserved to be higher. I put it
All right.
purposely low just because I don't
There
really.
you go.
Fair.
There you go.
Fair, CeCe, you were excellent.
Thank
Loved
you,
it.
CeCe. You came well prepared. You were a true
Yeah.
expert. And
I
Dan,
have a whole thing in note cards.
look at you.
Yeah, you do. And
No
I'm back
cards,
on track
obviously.
with a dub.
You're back.
I needed it.
All right, come on back next week. I believe our last episode of the year. I don't know when
Okay,
things
we'll
come
see
out
what
anymore.
happens.
So
Yeah.
come on back for that. Until then, keep dissing those lists. I love you, Casey.
It's the Diss List.